Hello and welcome back. I'm assuming since you're here it means that you have got the first phrase in the song down perfectly. And it's under your fingers and you're just eager and chafing at the bit to get onto the second section, which we will go through in just a minute with the fretboard once I can get Ralph off his pony. Anyway, this is what it's going to sound like. Not exactly, but roughly. Okay, so we're going to break that down into its component parts. The beginning, you'll notice, is just 3 notes, and then sort of a passing note on the 4th fret of the A string, and then back to the low octave, an octave below that opening note. Okay? So it goes. Okay, we'll practice that with the fretboard up. Ralph? Yes, I almost called you Fred. Yes, I'm sorry. Ralph, would you please put the pony up and come on in? Yes.
Well, can I even have my chocolate milk first?
No. Okay. Yes. Yes, you'll get your allowance if you do it. Just do as you're asked. Good. Thank you. No, you stay there till we're finished with the lesson. It'll just be a few minutes. Just relax. All right. Thank you. So the first notes in this, we're going to do 5 notes. Okay. So let's get those under our fingers and watch the notes on the keyboard. You'll see the names of the notes as well as where to place your fingers. So I'm not going to call those out. Just watch carefully. And this is the way it goes. I'm going to do it at about the speed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So let's do that 3 times in a row, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So the second part is also 5 notes. I just played that second note very quietly. Pianissimo, but that's not the way it's supposed to be played. So let's play that phrase. Nice little walk down. Bassists love walk downs. Okay, let's do that at about this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now you'll notice on that rundown I'm using my pinky, my ring finger, and my second finger. You can use the 3rd, 2nd, 1st finger, whatever's most comfortable. But bear in mind that the next note after the rundown is the 2nd fret of the A string. So I find, and you're going to want some control over that because the note after that is a ringing E. And you don't want those 2 ringing together. So you want that B to be clipped. You want to be able to mute it. And I find I can do that if I use my 1st finger. So on that rundown, what I'm doing is pinky, ring finger, 2nd finger, and then down to the 2nd fret of the A string with my 1st finger. And then open E. Get to that in a minute. Right now we're doing that 5 notes of. And you don't need to use that pinky, ring, 2nd finger. You can use whatever's most comfortable because it's not that big a deal to go from the 2nd fret of the D string to the 2nd fret of the A string. just skipping back and forth. It's easy to do, but it's nice to have that little bit of dexterity. Anyway, practice that. So that goes, I'm going to practice that 5 notes in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Good. So now we're going to do both those phrases. We're going to string them both together. Okay. We're going to do that at about the same speed we did the earlier one in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'll do it a little bit slower. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So let's assume that that last note of the walk down is the first note of this next part we're going to learn, which is, and that's all you need to do. So I'm going to clip that second note, that passing note. And when I do that, I'm just letting it off almost as soon as I sound it. I'm muting it with the finger, with my fretting finger, just by pressing down and letting off, but not all the way. That way, if I let off all the way, it's going to be that. So I just let off. I want control over those notes. I don't want them to ring. Okay, so that's, as you may have guessed, that is the next part of the phrase. Okay, so now you have that ringing E note, and you're going to go up to the G, beginning to sound familiar because it goes into. So that segment goes another 5-note phrase. So let's do that, beginning on the G note, which comes after that ringing E, which is the last note of the previous phrase. I'm sorry. Okay? And we'll do it slowly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. So now what we're going to do is the whole phrase all the way through. Okay? We'll do it fairly slowly at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do that again. I'll slow it down a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the speed on the song is about like this. So not a whole lot faster than we've been learning it. And the next thing, once you get that perfectly under your fingers and you can marry it with the first tutorial, first part of Money, and you've got those together and they're under your fingers and you've got them fluidly, and can play along with one of the videos that you see on the on YouTube. You can pick Pink Floyd or one of the covers on there. Just follow along and see if you get those first two movements just right and fluid with the beat of the song, with the pace of the song. Then come back and we'll learn the grooves that are going on during the chorus. Now personally, I don't think they're great bass lines. I think it's just sort of pedaling up and down. But you know, it moves the song along, and it's just not as interesting as these first two grooves have been, which I really have enjoyed. But nevertheless, it's a part of the song, so we'll learn it. But don't come back until you have these parts perfectly under your fingers. And remember, I'm a guitar player, not a bass player. It's your job to take these grooves, these licks, and make them your own as a bass player. And that can only be done through practice, practice, practice. Wish you all the best with it, and I'll see you when you've perfected those parts. Take care. See you next time.